Hey guys, Queen Novella here, back again with yet another video. Now, I thought about making this video for a while. It's just with all that's been going on, it's been really hard for me to get things done lately. That's been hard on my family, and with all that's been going on, we've all had to stay home and things like that. That and a tornado came ripping through my town recently, but I'm okay. Um, I just wanted to wish you guys a happy Easter. I know this is a little bit late, and that there will be an Easter book haul. My other books just haven't arrived yet, and I'll let you know when they do. Also, I just wanted to let you guys know that I will be postponing my part 2 review of I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream because it's a dark story, and with all that's been going on, that's the last thing I want to read right now. I'm just going to postpone it so I can read other books. Anyways, guys, this video is going to be about my diagnosis story. Maybe you've suspected this, maybe you could tell, maybe you couldn't, but I was just wanting to make a video about, my Asperger Syndrome and how I was diagnosed, and the signs that led up to my diagnosis. Now, I just want to let you guys know I'm not going to get into every sign and symptom that I have because that would probably take forever. So I'm just going to split that up into another video. This is just going to be my story. I'm just going to get into the signs and symptoms that led up to my diagnosis. So anyways, I was diagnosed back in 2004, 2005 when I was in first grade. I was around 7, I think. 6 or 7. I'm just letting you know I don't remember a lot of this, like, at all. I just remember some symptoms I have. I don't remember when I was tested or anything. But hardly anybody remembers stuff from first grade. Anyways, guys, I was in first grade, and I had a teacher whom back then I really disliked. I don't know why. I don't remember why, but I want to thank her now for helping me get diagnosed, because if I wasn't diagnosed as early as I was, I probably don't know where I'd be now. So I just want to thank that teacher who got me diagnosed. Anyways, one of the things that my parents noticed when I was little was before I was in first grade, they started adding things together after my diagnosis and realizing that some of my behaviors made sense. I used to hold out my arms and flail them or wave them around. It was a repetitive motion, and they didn't think much of it at the time. They just thought it was cute. They didn't really know much about that kind of stuff. Another symptom I have was sign was I was always a really shy kid, like always very socially awkward. I had a very hard time making friends and talking to people. I also absolutely hated loud noises. Like, I would get startled really easily, and I didn't understand why. Like, balloons would, and they still do, believe it or not, make me very nervous because for some reason people like to pop them, and it startles me. A lot of kids in elementary school, when I would hold my ears when, like, I was on the bus or something because of the air brakes. I mean, I never rode the bus to school, but if I was on a field trip or something, I may hold my ears. I don't remember exactly when this was, but I remember being on a bus and holding my ears because something was bothering me, and a kid asked me what's wrong, and then another kid said something's wrong with her ears, which that's not accurate. It's just that loud noises really bothered me as a child and still do. And if I was lucky enough to get a friend or talk to them, I love to talk about my interests. I didn't really know how to socialize then. I still have a hard time socializing, but I'm I basically learned to do that, how to socialize over time. I do still have awkward moments, but I used to be obsessed with Pokemon. Now, when people with Asperger's or autism get interested in something, they give it like 110%. Like, they give their all into that interest and want to learn as much about it as possible. Now, for me, I've had tons of interests over time that I won't get into in this video, but the main one that stood out was Pokemon. I loved Pokemon. It just made me feel safe. It made me feel happy. And I talked to kids a lot about Pokemon. I was like the number one fan or something. A lot of kids didn't understand it. They didn't understand my interests and why I was startled so easily and why I had trouble communicating and with loud noises. Now, another thing that my parents noticed when I was in first grade was that my handwriting was very, very bad. I mean, if you look at my handwriting now, you wouldn't be able to tell that it used to look like a mess. But I used to have terrible handwriting, and I got help for that, and now I actually have really good handwriting. But my teacher at the time noticed something wasn't clicking, and so she sent me to a psychologist, a school psychologist, to have me tested. I don't actually remember the process of being tested, but my parents told me that I had to get 100 to pass, and the score I got was around 101 to a 102. So, yeah, that's how they figured out I had autism or Asperger's. At least at the time, Asperger's was considered a form of autism, but I recently talked to this lady who worked with people with conditions like me, who said that it is still considered a form of autism. It's just, it hasn't been removed from the spectrum. It's just been quote unquote moved. Anyways, my parents did tell me after I was diagnosed, but at the time I probably didn't understand what was going on, so I just kind of forgot about it and just always thought I was different. I remember acknowledging I had autism in around 7th grade. I was probably too young to comprehend or understand it, so I just kind of let it go and forgot about it. My parents told me that they were told what to expect of me. They told my parents that I probably would never learn to drive, or would never go to prom, or would never graduate, or would never go to college, or have a boyfriend, or anything like that. Which, turns out I've proved them wrong on a lot of those things. I've went to prom, I've had boyfriends, I graduated high school, I have been to college, but I haven't graduated from one yet, and I'm still working on that driving thing. But, I did the vast majority of the things they said I probably wouldn't do. I've gotten better at socializing over time. I'm not as afraid to talk to people as I once was. I used to get really anxious when I was in a social situation. And when I did feel comfortable enough to talk, I was usually very awkward. And I guess I am still a little bit, but that's just part of who I am. I'm also not as scared of loud noises anymore. I mean, when I'm in school or when I would go to school, I would sometimes be wary of the fire alarm or something like that because it screeches really loud. And I do still love Pokemon, but I don't obsess over it like I used to. I still do have interests that I give 110% to, but it's not really Pokemon anymore. I've moved on to other interests. Like how I'm a book collector, for instance. Now, I do have other interests, but I think this video's long enough. I just wanted to say that that's all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed my story, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell for more content from me. Anyways, guys, with all that being said, I'm Queen Novella, and bye!